Did I mention that I'm not posting a bra video until I have 50,000 subscribers? Hey everybody, it's Nikki Fabs, and today I'm going to be doing a video that was requested by some OG fans, and of course I had to deliver, and it's where I've been for the past 4 years. I do want to let you know that this start of this video is going to have a trigger warning. I'm going to be really honest in this video, and my life has not always been daisies, and a lot of shit has happened to me. Like I said, the past 4 years have been shit, so I am gonna try to get through this as best as I can, as quick as I can. I'm not gonna give you guys a lot of detail just because I'm not ready to share that, and I don't think I'm going to share a lot of that like personal stuff, but I'm gonna give you guys a quick synopsis of the past 4 years. And I'm gonna talk about this as quickly and as without emotion as possible, and I only know one way to do that. Give me about like 5-10 minutes. You know, if I can finish this whole thing and stick to my script, agents better be lining the fuck up. Baby girl got talent. Like, what? Damn, I'm so cute. Oh my god, I wasn't even filming. Like, I was filming here, but it wasn't even filming. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay, so I've also taken off my glasses because I do not want to see myself in the viewfinder. Also, you just see a reflection with some really squinty eyes, so apologies. But basically, a quick synopsis of the past 4 years includes where I was, which was in Florida, and then I graduated and I left Florida and I went to California, and I didn't have any plans beyond the summer plans I had, and I was like just winging it, and I was going to try to stay in California, but that didn't work out, and somehow I ended up getting the idea to become an au pair. And I then, after California, spent the fall of 2017 in London, which a lot of bad crap happened, but it was amazing. I absolutely love London. It's my favorite city in the world. I haven't visited too many cities, but internationally that is, but it's definitely my favorite. I want to live there so bad. Fellas, hit me up if you want a visa, because I do. And then I came home, and 2018 I stayed in here in New York. Not here, but like I stayed in New York. I tried going to LA. That really didn't work out, and now I have been back home in New York ever since, and my plans are either to move to LA or back to Florida in September. I'm like warring with the two currently right now. During that time, I made a lot of great memories, and I grew up a lot, but a lot of really shitty things happened to me during that time. Given whatever reason, a lot of things I brought upon myself, a lot of things were just a part of life, things I didn't know about, things I wasn't prepared for and should have been or shouldn't have been prepared for, and whatever. Regardless, a lot of things happened, but it's got me where I am today. Right now, I'm probably the most confident, secure person I've ever been. I really take hard looks at myself, and it sucks because I've done a lot of really shitty things. A lot of shitty things have happened, like I said. I haven't been the best person in the world, but I feel like right now I understand myself almost 100% completely, and I know that's a very arrogant thing to say, and I know I probably have a very long way to go, but I am so proud of the progress I've made in just, I mean, a year alone, but like from where I was at 21 to here now is crazy. I knew nothing at 21, and I was on here trying to give advice and tell people how to live and like pretending my life was perfect, and it totally wasn't. Things that have happened for the past 4 years of my life have been 1,000,000% shit, and I've said that 1,000,000 times, so I apologize. But it's just like the best adjective to describe it in just one word. And I really do wish that my life was as easy as it was when I was younger and more privileged and way more ignorant and everything was done for me. But I am where I am now, and I'm so proud, and I'm so proud that I kind of went through everything, because it made me focus and like finally like figure out what I wanted to do, and just now I'm on that path. And it did take a really long time, just because mental illness is a bitch, but hey, you know, I'm just so happy that like I figured it out, and I'm so happy I'm moving, and I'm so happy I'm where I am now. And I'm so happy that I learned these lessons in my early 20s than later on down the line, because I wish I had learned them in my teens, but like stuff happens, you know. People suck. Your parents don't raise children correctly because they view children as accessories and not actual humans. And yeah, just to get a few things out of the way, I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but in 2016, January 2016, I was diagnosed bipolar, and that for me wasn't really a big deal. It was more or less like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, because basically my whole life people kept telling me like, you're normal, you're normal, you're normal, and if you're not, like, you're sick, and bipolar is a negative thing, and it's not. It's a positive thing. It's just a chemical imbalance in my brain. I'm still a normal functioning human being. I just process emotions different than you or your friends or your mom or your dad, or even my mom or my dad. And it is more complicated than that, of course, but like that's me very baked trying to simplify the situation. But when it happened to me when I was diagnosed, I felt this weight, because it was like I was being told my whole life, like, you are normal, you have to be normal. And I wasn't like everybody else. I felt normal, but in my own way. And that was a confirmation. So it was just like, oh, finally, like, okay. So I just kind of started to, I had a therapist and I had a psychiatrist, because I was fancy like that. And I would like see them, and I would speak to my therapist. I loved my therapist. She like really helped me. And like not being able to see her for the first year after university really helped me, because I was still like in that mentality. So I would kind of just like mentally talk, like out loud talk through things, because I talk out loud to myself, but like mentally like talk through things and think of responses she would say that were like helpful. So that's kind of how I live my life now. I just kind of talk through things, and that's my process. It's always just like kind of an over explanation. Some people get really annoyed with it, but like I feel like if I over explain things and like cover every base, it's easier for everybody. And yeah. I'm also incredibly honest, and that's something that I wasn't for a very long time, especially here on YouTube. In Florida, I acted as if I had this perfect life. I was this wealthy, privileged sorority girl, and like, to be completely honest, I was 100% broke. My parents really kind of didn't teach me finances, and I never really cared to learn, because like I was taught that money would always be there. And then like they threw me into the world, and they were like, okay, bye. And I just kind of like fucked my finances. I had no money, and I was like really pretending, and I was trying to like uphold this life, and it really sucked. And like the summer I quit, I didn't have a job, and I had just adopted a dog, which did not end well, which I'm not going to talk about in this video because it's way too emotional. Eventually maybe I will, but it just sucks. But and I was like kind of losing my mind. I was kind of going a little bit manic. Like I was starting to adjust to different medications, realize that medications, like I reject a lot of medications. I hope people are okay with how candid like I'm speaking, because like I think this is fine, and I think this should like be talked about more. Because genuinely everybody on YouTube is like chemically imbalanced, and it's a club. Welcome to the chemically imbalanced club. It's really fun. So last year Florida was very difficult, and I kind of like couldn't wait to get out of there just because it was so, the last 6 months were just really, really bad. And mostly my fault, to be completely honest. Um, yeah, mostly my fault. But the good things that happened were like I made the best bonds ever with my two best friends, Fifi Trouble and Rennie Antoinette, and like we're still best friends to this day. We still communicate to this day. We're starting companies together. Like that's the positives and like memories of like staying up all night, being like above the cafeteria was this office space, and like being at the office space at 3 o'clock in the morning with Fiona, doing homework but like not really doing homework, and just like fucking off and like getting to know each other and like having deep conversation, and like going to Karen's house and just like sitting around the table and her like playing like the duttiest trap music, and like her doing like a dutty wine and twerk, and then asking if people want herbal tea. Like those are my best memories. But then, so like what I'll talk about senior year. Ooh. So I got kicked out of my sorority. I got kicked out of my sorority by my little and her friends all wrote letters to standards and got me kicked out. And like, of course there were reasons that were like valid, but what was the shitty part was that everyone else had broken these same like reasons, like rules, but they just ratted me out because they wanted me out. And at the end of the day, it sucked, and I like broke my heart, and I was crying, and like the woman who was in charge of it was a total see you next Tuesday, and like I hate her. Ugh, like I hope that she has a horrible, miserable life. But like in the moment it broke me, but like looking back at it, it's like, wow, those people really treated you poorly. Like, why did you stay there? So it was a blessing in disguise, but pretty much. So I got kicked out for 3 reasons. One reason was for not paying my dues, because hello, she was broke, like I already said. Another reason was oh, I'll tell you the first reason, and I'll explain the last reason because it was bullshit. So we had pledges, potential new members, and they pledged during Halloween, so they weren't like initiated sisters yet. And on Halloween I went out with a sister to a club, and we ran into a pledge, and we took a picture together because we're drunk, we're having a good time, it's Halloween, like who cares. She then posted this picture on Facebook, and they sent me to standards because we're not supposed to do that. And the reasoning they gave me in the standards room, was that if something had happened to her, you have she has that picture that's now on Facebook, and you are responsible because you're her sorority sister. And it's like, that's not how the law works. Like, the fuck? But like, when you're 21 and you're really into your sorority, you believe that, and you're like, okay, that's a valid reason, but like you're crying, but you also think it's bullshit. But the final reason, right, so we couldn't actually haze anybody. By the way, I got hazed. I asked to be hazed. Like that, like in all actuality, sorority hazing is like a good thing. Like, not the beating, no violence, no like disgusting bullying, but like building character and like not letting people get away with shit is good. Like, I asked to be hazed so I can earn my letters, and that's something that is a very true statement. And like, I don't care because I'm not in it anymore, but a lot of people will disagree with me. But like, we weren't allowed to call it hazing. But so basically, sisters before us made up this thing called scroll, and when you get initiated, this is like a total secret, you sign your name on a scroll, like a membership scroll. And like, it's all in order of initiation. So someone who was initiated before me can ask me to do something, and if I say no, they'll say scroll, which means I'm higher than you, I have seniority, do what I say. So we were explaining this to the pledges on their pledge night, and I was drunk and really high. All these stories, like, oof. And I explained it, and then I said, so like, for example, scroll, da-da-da, take this shot. And she was like, no, no, no. And I kept screaming, take the shot, and everyone started screaming it. So I forced her to drink, and I said scroll a bunch. And then I said to her right after, because I knew this was going to be a dramatic thing, I went, you know I'm kidding, you didn't have to do that. And she was just like, it's fine, ha ha ha. But then 3 months later reported it, and that was like the final reason, was that I hazed somebody. So I got kicked out, and it like broke me. Oh my god, I remember trying to like write a letter to nationals and like beg for forgiveness, and it just sounded like a child wrote it, if I'm being completely honest. And in the end of it, like, I didn't have to pay $600 a semester for Friends anymore. It was a blessing in disguise. Good memories really kind of did continue on into California. I went back to the summer camp I went to, and I worked there, and I was not the best counselor, I'm going to be honest. It's probably really shit, because I made it all about me, and that was something that I did a lot, and that's something that I will do a lot. I love myself, and I want things to be about me. I love attention. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. Like, I've been on YouTube since I was 14 years old. Like, I love attention. I want attention. And I have to kind of remember not to let that push into my, like, real life sometimes, because you shouldn't want attention when you're working at a summer camp. But anyway, it was still a lot of fun. I made really good connections, friends to this day that I still communicate with. One of them is actually also moving to where I'm moving to in September, and that's just, I'm really excited for that, and it's like also a really good sign that I'm doing the right thing. Summer, I spent on a mountain. I was there for like 12 weeks. And then after that we went to Vegas. That was the first time I ever went to Vegas, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I spent the entire time high, and then drunk, and then passed out, and I don't really remember much besides going to Omnia in Caesar's Palace to go see Travis Scott, and after like 2 hours just leaving because we were just fed up and we didn't want to be there anymore because we were too high. And I'm like not condoning this behavior. I was over the age of 21. Like, it is legal in the state of Las Vegas to recreationally use cannabis. But those are fun memories. I enjoy cannabis, obviously, as you guys can tell. And I believe that is something that helps me become like my best self, and helps me really like, I don't know, like I feel like it's my lithium, because lithium doesn't work for me anymore. While I was in California, I actually started to see this boy. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm talking about this. And he fed me a lot of bullshit and told me a lot of things one night, that he really liked me and he could see a future with me and yada yada yada. And then like 3 days later, he hooked up with one of my good friends from work. And it like broke me, and all this dramatic stuff happened. But when that had been going on, I was considering then going back to England and going to travel around England, and then maybe like find a job there. And I ended up applying for some au pair positions, and I got an au pair position originally in Essex, and it just didn't really work out with the family, so I'll get to that. And then I ended in North London. So after California, after Vegas, I came home for a little bit. I was like, just did a little bit of a summer job to get some extra money, and then I went off to London. But I didn't really, like I said earlier, I had no concept of finances, and I haven't really had a concept of finances until like last year, this year basically, and that's kind of fucking embarrassing, but I gotta be honest about it. Like, it helps that I'm baked, because I can just like casually talk about this. Like, it sucks, and it sucks that like I didn't know how to do these things. Like, I wasn't taught how to do these things, and then when I discovered them, I was angry that I wasn't taught, so I was like trying to blame other people, and that's just toxic and unhealthy, and you don't need that. So you can't keep on to that. Like, you can know in your heart that someone didn't teach you something, but now once you know it, it's now your fault if you don't do anything about it. So it was my fault for the past like 3 years. But so I went to Essex originally, and the family, it was for au pairing for 18-month-old twins for a mother and father in Essex. And they told me in the interview they were only about 25 minutes away from London. They told me that I would get weekends off, and they told me I would get a certain amount of money. And then when I like sent over the money was different, and certain things weren't filled out, and it was just like, they said that the mom was probably going to go back to work, And I get there and that's not the case, and it was just, I'm not going to discuss them as people because I hold no animosity to them. They let me into their home, they let me watch their children and care for their children. We just didn't vibe as people. Like, we didn't have cohesive personalities, and like it just didn't work out. So after about a month or so, like 5-6 weeks, we left, and I ended up going to London, and I loved London. Also, they said they were 25 minutes away from London by train, and they were an hour and 25 minutes away from London by train. I went out one time. So, oh, that was the thing. So I get there on a Monday, right? And they're like, oh, so the dad's going away this weekend. Can you work? So I'm immediately starting to work. Oh my God, it was so bad. I got jet lagged like a week into it. I was like in the car crying next to her, and then I passed out for like 17 hours. It was just so much going on. But like, then when I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this weekend off, she got really offended. And I was like, oh, well, we discussed having my weekends off. And it was just like really bad. And I called my like aunt for advice, and she really helped me out. And then like I said, it's not really working out. And the next day, like I had said that to her, and the next day the woman goes, it's not really working out. And I was like, I know, I said this to you already. So let's part ways. So I found a new family that I thought was going to be better. And it wasn't. The dad was actually a psychopath. He totally finessed me. So he was like, oh, I'm just a single dad to 2 kids. And like what got me was like his kids were the same age that my sister and I were when like our parents were like fully in court for the divorce, and he was just starting to go through a divorce, and he was trying to like, he kind of told me that his wife didn't like really come around a lot and love the kids and all this stuff, and he was just crazy, and it was all not true, and he was so mean, and he insulted his wife, and he was so aggressive, and he would like go through my belongings, and it was a very unsafe environment. And I put up with it for like 2 months just because like I wanted to be in England. And like my favorite, it's so weird, but like on my weekends off, like on Friday night, I just like get on the tube and like get lost and like walk around London. And then finally, like when it was time to, like I was like, okay, it's midnight, I should probably go home. Like I just opened my phone and be like, where am I? And then find the nearest tube station and go home. Like that was my favorite part, and that's what I love about London. And like people are probably like, that's really unsafe, but like I felt really safe for some reason. I love that city so much. It's like genuine magic. But then unfortunately, due to some safety issues with the father I was employed for, I had to leave England pretty quickly, to be honest. And I came home and moved in with my aunt, my uncle, and my 2 younger teenage cousins. And my aunt and my uncle, I know my aunt's probably watching this, and like I'm not gonna get emotional, but like you saved my life. And like they started to they dealt with me during the start of a 2-year-long manic episode. It's like something that does happen when you are bipolar. You can get triggered, and you can slip into episodes, and like manic episodes, and they can go for years. And I can confidently say I was in one for the past 2 years, and it's not fun. So I came home. I was really depressed, and I was really sad that didn't work out, because that was my life. I was like, okay, I'm going off, and I'm going to live there, and I'm going to live for these families until the kids are old enough, or until my life changes. And like the one thing I will say positively, well, I can't even say, like, it was a positive experience. We just didn't mesh personality wise, like I said earlier. But like the woman I worked for in Essex, like she got me into the idea of like auditioning for Love Island, which sounds crazy, but like reminded me that I did want to be an actress, and like that's something I do want to do with my life and pursue it. And like because she said like, you'd be great on reality TV, you'd be great on this and that, because we used to watch Towie together. She told me about Love Island. It wasn't airing at the time because it was like October. Like that was a good thing that happened that like reminded me of who I was. So I came home broke, in really bad debt, like serious, like overdraft, negligence, collections, really bad. I'm gonna say like $4,000 of debt that I had accumulated from my last year of college up until the December after it. And I got a job at a deli, and from 5:30 a.m. until like 4:30 p.m. every day, I was working in a deli for like 22 weeks and it was horrible and I was so depressed, and all I did was eat bagels and egg sandwiches, and I gained 55 pounds in 2 months, and it sucked. And it like really messed me up, and I'm still losing that weight now. And of course, like, I am a bigger girl, but like, I like to say that right now, or back then I was thick with 4 C's. I'd like to be thick with 2 C's, and I'm gonna say right now I'm thick with 3. So I just need to lose 1 more C, but like maybe another one wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, that really kind of messed me up a little, but I didn't really know, which I'll get to. So I was really depressed. I was really mad at the world. I just felt like I couldn't catch up. Like, so I was making money at this deli I was working like 6 days a week. It was insane. And for this like 19-year-old asshole. Anyway, and all that money was just going straight toward like bills I had that I didn't, or like collection debts I had that I didn't know I had because someone, like, I didn't know they weren't paid. Like, they were, like, my parents said they were going to take care of them, and like they weren't paid, and it was just like this crazy thing, and like all this bullshit pretty much. But so that not only like really kind of hardened me because like I was figuring out finances, but it hardened me because like I was in a place I'd never been before, and like I was experiencing people I had never experienced before. And like I grew up very sheltered. I grew up very privileged. I'm white, I'm privileged, I'm white privileged. I was very ignorant, very arrogant. I still am arrogant. I need to stop touching my top, I apologize. And when like I got knocked down, I got really like far down, like below start, and it sucked. But like it kind of like helped me and toughened me up a little, made me more honest, because I wasn't gonna put up with shit like that wasn't acceptable. Like if I didn't find someone's behavior acceptable, I was telling them, and it just like it really helped me. And like my aunt really helped me. Like she was my rock. I put that family through so much bullshit. It was horrible. Like, oh my god, I owe them like millions of dollars. But so basically I kind of like got this idea for what I want to do now, which I'm starting to execute now here on my channel on Magic Med. Gonna maybe do some other ventures, I don't know yet. And I went to go execute them, and I like filmed myself, and I went to go like edit the footage, and I looked at myself for the first time, and I was so upset because I was so not only obese but like pale, like sickly pale. And like I know like I'm pale, like I don't really believe in sunlight, like I'm very terrified of melanoma and skin cancer, but like that's a whole new different topic. I'm just really high, so I apologize. But I was like sickly, like almost yellow, and it was just like she was not it. But so I like panicked and I freaked out, and I was like, but this has to be my life. And so like I kind of panic moved to LA just because I had nowhere else to go. And I kind of like was like, if everything will work out. And I did meet some incredible people there. Oh my god, Nasty Nate's the funniest comedian to come out of Louisiana since I don't know who, you know. He was, oh my god, we just connected immediately. I love that man. He's amazing. Everyone, please go follow Nasty Nate on Instagram. Buku Fire, the podcast, is so funny. But like him and I lived together for a little while. Like he slept on my couch. This amazing guy who I won't name because I know he watches the videos and he wants to stay anonymous, he saved my life, and I say that to him all the time, but like genuinely like saved my life. And it was a hard time, and it sucked, and like I never knew where I was going next, but the best people. Like, I know it's like super hippy dippy and bullshitty, but like my soul's just calm in California. Like, but unfortunately that didn't work out. So I actually got a job in retail because my last year of Florida I had worked retail, and actually became a manager of a pretty known store, and I really loved that. Like I really kind of loved working retail. It was really fun, and like get to feel pretty all the time, and like even when you looked gross, like there was still pretty clothes around you to make you feel good. And I got a job as an assistant manager of a new retail store, and the woman who owned it she was very young, she wasn't prepared, and basically she like promised me a certain amount of money, then gave me a very low amount of money, promised me a certain amount of hours, then was like, nobody's making full-time hours until I make $10,000 a day in the store. Like the store's open for like 3 days and I made the first sale on the 3rd day and it was crazy. Like it was $60 and that was it. So she then informed me on my way home for Christmas that she was closing the store, and pretty much I lost a job and it kind of sucked. So I just stayed here and got a job here, which was horrible. And I only like maybe 3 or 4 people from that job, but it was just really shitty older people treating you like absolute shit, and you kind of had to put up with it. And every time I complained, it was just like, oh, Nikki's complaining again. And it was just like, this is not how you treat humans. But also it was me growing. Like, I'm saying all this as if I'm the victim, and it's like, yes, a lot of things that happened to me sucked, but like I did a lot of, like, I didn't have to pipe up, I didn't have to say these things. This was me like working myself out mentally out loud, but like with people who were like doing things to me or saying things to me as like, I don't know, it was just like, I could have kept my mouth shut on a lot of things and I should have, but I'm glad on certain things I didn't. So like, I'm glad I say, I'm glad I call out people who are disrespectful and nasty, and I'm glad that like I've stopped someone from harassing me and things like that. But like in certain, when someone said something snarky, like I didn't have to like say something back and be like, no, you offended me, so this and that. And it was just like, I was growing up, and it sucks and I apologize, but like, thanks. Thanks for helping me grow up. Last summer I was just kind of in this strange loop of like having these like unrealistic plans and like wanting them to be executed like almost overnight. And it's just like, that's on me as a person, but that is because, you know, the imbalance in the brain, having mental illness. And like I don't like calling it, that's the thing, like I don't like calling it mental illness because I don't think I'm like ill. I think that like I'm just different. But you can't say that because everybody is different. That's the thing, like every person in the world is different. So it's just like, I'm not stereotypical. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Who knows, who cares? So last summer was like this strange loop. And then I'm going to say about December was like a really big wake-up call. And then in like January, February, after working at this place for a year, I actually got fired. The real reason I got fired was because I was looking for another job, and the day I went for like a secondary interview at that job, I posted on Instagram like me going to it, which was so stupid. And my coworker told my boss that I was out sick. And another coworker was like, nope, I have her on Instagram, she's not out sick. So I done fucked up on that one, but I hated that job anyway. So again, like a blessing in disguise, but like I brought it upon myself, you know. I was really lost in life and really frustrated that things that I thought were gonna happen overnight didn't happen. But like that's a part of mental illness, like I keep saying. And I was lost, and then I had all this free time and like genuine alone time for about a month and a half, and it happened to be right during the start of COVID, and it really helped me kind of take a hard look at myself, accept myself, be like, okay, you are this way, you're gonna change or you're not gonna change, you're not changing right now, so let's work with it. This is not happening, so let's think of plan B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, all the way to fucking Z. I think where I am now is pretty good, and I like the way I'm going, and I'm really happy to be back on YouTube. And I know this was really vague, but and like some stories here and there. If you want to like hear like isolated story times, I'm happy to go back to doing those. But yeah, where I am now, the path I'm on, what I plan to be doing, the thoughts in my brain, like the things I want to achieve, like I am her, like I am confident, I am intelligent. I was incredibly arrogant in the past, but you know what? We're learning. We're educating ourselves. We're getting smarter because we want to get smarter. We are doing things because we want to do them. I'm dressing how I want because I like the way this is. I like the way this looks. I like the way I feel, you know? I'm living my life the way I want to, and I'm not really going to be apologetic because I'm also not really doing anything that's harmful or hateful toward anyone. And that's how I kind of want to live my life. Like, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do whatever I want. My opinions are my opinions. I do things for myself. You don't have to agree with it, but I'm not going to disagree with you because you don't agree with me. That's how I live my life, and that's how that's where I've gotten to now because I grew, you know? Since then, it's just been like upward. Like I'm so happy that I'm back on YouTube. I'm doing a exercise every single day. I've actually started gaming, which I always wanted to do. I'm building my life, and I'm expanding, and I'm growing, and I'm so happy. And like it sucks that this is happening in the world, but it's being forced to be inside and like following those rules, being someone who is following those rules has been very helpful. And like I haven't done everything I wanted to do, like, and I haven't lost 100 pounds in 2 months because that's just unrealistic, even though I wanted that to happen. But I'm glad on the progress where I'm going, and I'm glad where I am going and where I'm gonna end up. It's gonna be amazing, and I hope that you all enjoy the motherfucking ride. All in all, like, yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, it was like rock bottom, but it's brought me to where I am today. I'm happy. I'm gonna be so much happier so soon. I'm gonna just keep doing whatever I want to do. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully the world enjoys it, and if they don't, they pipe the fuck down. If you want to hear like isolated stories and like more stuff, like just comment and ask, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I think that's it. And here on YouTube, obviously, and we can like chat more. Don't like creepily slide in the DMs though. Not into that. This video was like low-key really hard to film. Like I just kept getting emotional, but that is also because I'm smoking an indica, and an indica does do that to me. Yeah. I have really bad cotton mouth. So I am actually going to go ahead and go. I hope that if you went through something similar, you also are now on a similar path, and like we can bond over that, and we can have a great time, and you can let me know in the comments below. Hoping that the people that like I commented back on my Sharpie's back video, like maybe went through some struggles, and we can like bond over it and become this cute little close little like Sharpie family. I don't know. I regret nothing in life. It's been fun, and it's going to be even more fun in the next coming months and years. Like, the plans I have, guys. She's going to be a ting, okay? I'm going to go ahead and go. Like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social medias. Send me Venmo if you want. I'm so disgustingly thirsty, but like, she's just started building her savings, and it's healthy, but like it could be a bit healthier, you know? Okay, Illy, Merp, bye. And thanks for sticking with me.